artificial intelligence and its impact on the disciplines and in learning and teaching. Here's a slide that I've used a number of times. We couldn't debate whether this is actually the truth in terms of the matter with respect to artificial intelligence, the birth of AI. For those who may be interested in how old this was, you can see there's not too many ladies who are in this group of professors who met to discuss artificial intelligence. I guess if we had a similar slide in 2023, there would be probably a lot more. Maybe half would be female, half would be male. But in the 1950s, the so-called fathers of artificial intelligence, Minsky and McCarthy, managed to get a distinguished group of people together at Dartmouth College to talk about artificial intelligence. And from their point of view, any task performed by a program or a machine, that if a human carried out the same task, we would say the human had to apply intelligence to accomplish that task. I mean, that's a pretty simple, basic definition. I'm sure as we progress through the webinar or this forum, we can think of different ways of defining that. But very simply, artificial intelligence systems will typically demonstrate at least one of the following behaviours, or some of them: planning, learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and maybe social intelligence and creativity. A couple of months ago, I just took news articles in a single day, I think it was, about artificial intelligence. And there was a pretty broad set of presentations, from robotic traps in Queensland's wet tropical to Google's AI music generator. And somebody saying, well, I can probably generate a music which sounds like anybody who's been a great performer in the past. Nina Simone was one example. A lot's been happening, a lot's been talked about in terms of artificial intelligence and what it may actually mean. So where is artificial intelligence now? Well, I can probably say artificial intelligence is pretty much ubiquitous today. We may not think about it, but it's used to recommend what we should buy next online. And for those who have online email accounts, I guess you'll see probably on the right-hand side column, there's lists of things that somebody's telling you should buy. And if you go and click on something somewhere on the web that you might be interested in, probably in a very short period of time, there'll be something on the right-hand side saying, please go and buy this. So go and have a look at this. So it's pretty much ubiquitous. What we can next buy online to understand what to say to virtual assistants, such as Amazon's Alexa or Apple Siri, to recognize who and what is in a photo, to spot spam, to detect credit card fraud, and to improve your health. Couldn't resist. I had to throw in there the name of a recent movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because I must say I'm struggling to keep up with all the developments that are occurring. So in this forum, we're just going to explore the impact of artificial intelligence in the fields of ICT, business, project management, healthcare, and education. And then Michelle's going to help understand where we are in terms of AI policy and practice in ECA higher education. I certainly hope that this forum helps us understand a little bit about what some people are saying is a transformative revolution for mankind. I've been part of a UNESCO working group called AI in Education. I think probably for about 4 years now. They've been running regular workshops. It's quite an interesting group. You want to go online and find the UNESCO Intelligence in Education. It lists the different forums they run. But just on the slide here, I've shown some recent publications. Now, I probably should say recent. It was probably 2021. And you're probably saying, well, that's going to be completely out of date now, because we're now in 2023 and look at all that's happened. But there were some really interesting publications about AI and the future of learning and the relevance of AI to K-12 in many different aspects of K-12, including for students who have learning disabilities. And then AI and education, a brief document about some kind of guidance for policymakers. So if you're interested, you could go and just look online for UNESCO AI in Education and join the forums, which happen probably at least 2 or 3 times a year. For those who are keen on movies, I couldn't resist this slide. So many movies over the last 20 or 30 years have been maybe what we might call, or I might call, AI dreamers. There's a very large number of popular movies, the original Tron movie, and then there's 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's so many movies that have been produced over the last, as I said, decades. I've listed here The Matrix, Blade Runner, Minority Report, and the more recent Tron. A lot of them have talked about artificial intelligence and the dependence of mankind on computers. I'm sure you could add a lot more to this list. So here's today's ECA team that Michelle's mentioned. There's Michelle and myself and O'Day and Viral as heads of discipline. of IT and Business, Rakesh, a Senior Lecturer in Project Management, Mohammed, who's the Associate Dean Scholarship and Research, but comes from a very strong health background, and John Haval, an educator in e-learning. So I think I should just say, are we ready for artificial intelligence in our disciplines and in education?